Hey, I'm Dr. Monica Bernawal, and we are continuing our exploration of fundamentals of digital marketing. So let's continue with the rest of the lectures. Digital marketing. Over the past 3 lectures, we have learned what the basic functionality of what is digital marketing. We have explored different digital marketing channels and understood how businesses use SEO, which is search engine optimization, social media, SEM, that is search engine marketing, and then there are content marketing, influencer marketing, email marketing, affiliate marketing, and Google Ads to reach different segments of customers. Today we are going to study something very every successful marketer should understand, and let us begin this class by asking you a very simple question that you have to consider. Do customers buy immediately after seeing an advertisement? So let's think about it and we will start our session. Alright. So when we are seeing some kind of ads in different platforms that you are seeing here you can see is web, SEO, Twitter marketing, blogging, SEO, Yahoo, social media marketing. In every marketing there are n number of ads that keep on showing on your feed, and when you see the ads, you actually, if you like it, then you will click on it and you will reach to some other website, does it always make you to buy the product even if you like it and if you are clicking it? So that is the question of mine, and the answer is mostly you will say no. Why? Because customers do not wake up one morning and they would see that advertisement and they would collectively decide, now I want this product. No, they are going to what? They are going to read a review about it. They are going to start comparison about it with other products they would be searching or browsing. Okay, so even if they like the product, they would not immediately or instantly going to purchase. So they are going through a similar journey, and that journey we are going to study, and it is also known as digital marketing funnel. Okay. Now, before we start this journey, like this funnel would give you or make us understand of why customers need, why they click on a product and they don't purchase it, they don't add in their cart and etc. Why the customers actually purchase it, why the customers purchase it but return it, they don't like the product. Why some customers became the brand ambassadors, like they are really liking the product and they are doing word of mouth to their friends and relatives and their followings, like yes, you should be using this product, this is very helpful for me, etc. So why this happens, this all things are being studied through the digital marketing funnel. So this is one of the very important concepts in modern marketing, because almost every digital marketing strategy is built around this funnel. Before we begin, let's revise our previous lecture. So in our previous lecture, we have discussed digital marketing channels. Now is digital marketing funnel. So in digital marketing channels, we have discussed different kind of channels that collectively contribute in building a very effective digital marketing strategies. So one of the channel was SEO, that is search engine optimization. Second was social media. Third one is email marketing, then influencer marketing, content marketing, and then there was affiliate marketing, email marketing. So we have learned like businesses do not depend on only one channel. If you are only concentrating on building a good Instagram page, or you are only concentrating on investing more in money towards the Google Ads, running Google Ads on different platforms, they will not bring you a result until you focus some of your time to many of the digital marketing channels. Okay, so instead you combine multiple channels to create a complete customer experience. Let's take an example. If you are planning to for a vacation in Singapore, you may first see an Instagram reel. Okay, so how does it feel? Whoever have gone there have shot their photos or videos, and then you'll start searching on Google. Like you will start watching YouTube videos of how to go, what visa guidelines are there, what kind of currency you would get, and etc. What kind of language. You start reading travel blogs as well, like those who have went, how was the experience, where they have gone to sightsee, where you will get discounts and everything. You start comparing prices of Singapore travel packages. You will start contacting the travel agencies, and you'll start comparing their travel itineraries and codes and packages. And finally, when you arrive, like this seems suitable for you with all your time and budget, you finally book your tickets. Now you have to notice something here. Every platform have played a role. When you have decided that this time I'm going to Singapore for my vacation, so first you have scrolled Instagram for a reel or quick reel. Then you have gone to YouTube to watch some tutorials or some videos regarding the Singapore, and then you have gone to some websites where you are reading blogs, and then you have moved towards different websites, different travel agencies who are offering Singapore tour packages. Then you have moved towards the Singapore official website where you will get the correct guidelines, like weather, the visa, everything, other rules, right? So these all channels fit together within this my customer journey as a customer. Okay. So digital marketing channels are the tools, and these digital marketing funnel is the strategy. So the earlier we have read about digital marketing channels, they serve as the tools. Now we are going to study about digital marketing funnel, and they act as a strategy of digital marketing. Okay. So these are going to be our objectives of this lecture. So first we will got to understand what is digital funnel. So this would be the first one that we will be learning about. Second is what is going to be the customer journey, how customer would actually arrive for a purchase and then liking the product and then becoming a brand ambassador. Okay. Third one is how to indulge AI into marketing. What are the latest trends that is going on that affect the customer's decision, and what are the future of marketing. So these are the things that we are going to study in this lecture. Always remember, marketing is not simply about selling products. It is about building relationships for a very long time. So we should consider this. Okay. Now let's do a very warm-up activity. A very simple question I have. How did you buy your last smartphone or clothing or anything? How did you actually buy it? So you have to think very carefully, like you have last bought your phone, and how did you actually arrive at the decision, like this is the phone I want and I'm going to pay for it. So what conspires it? Did you immediately walk into a shop and purchased it, like yes I need a phone, so I got to the mobile store and then I like the product and then purchased? Did you do that? Maybe not, right? Yeah, probably not. Why? Because you will start listing the steps. Very think carefully. My phone is not working and I'm thinking of buying some kind of very good smartphone. So what I'll do? I'll start doing Google search. I'll open my Google and I'll searching what is my budget going to be, or I want like very good photo taking smartphones. I should be have a good, very great megapixels, should have a great memory size or RAM size. So whatever my requirements are, I'm going to search on Google. So when I'm searching on Google, Google will start saying, okay, so these are the products under your whatever budget and specifications you have provided. So what I'll do, I'll then open YouTube. I have opened my YouTube and I've started reviewing the reviewers, those who compare different smartphones, like this has this feature, this has this feature, etc. And I started watching these tutorials and guides as well. Then I'll open my Instagram, and Instagram there are multiple reels regarding smartphones, what to buy, what to see, what to check, etc. And then I will arrive at the products, like actually where I'm going to buy it. Either it's Amazon and Flipkart and the different shopping sites. So I'll arrive at that shopping sites after reading all the reviews and everything, and then I'll scroll the product. Then I'll ask my friends as well, like what they think about this. I am thinking about this and this. Option A and option B I have finalized, and let me know what you think. What's your opinion is. So slowly but slowly, I'm arriving at the point of my purchase, and with all my journey to arrive at two smartphones that I am thinking to buy, and then getting opinion from my friends or my followers or anything, and I'll start writing all of it on the go. Now I will notice very interesting thing here. Every of us follows a different path. Some would have not even scrolled Instagram, they would have directly opened YouTube and started searching about a smartphone. Someone has not trusted the whatever the internet is providing them, so they would ask their friends. If their friends are like that, then they would trust their friends. Now, some would have read only the Amazon reviews, and if the review says it's a very good phone and it will make your life very, very efficient, etc., you will buy it and you are going to buy it. Some would actually visit physical stores. You will listen to the salesperson, and according to that, you decide and you purchase the smartphone. So, yet all of you eventually reach the same destination. You have purchased a smartphone, but the journey was different for each one of us, right? This demonstrates very important principle. Customer follows different paths, but they all move through similar decision making stages. So there are different stages. Customer reach to the final stage, but going through the different stages at different time. And this is what the digital marketing funnel represents. Okay. Let's suppose Apple spends 100 crore on advertising. Will every person who sees the advertisement buy an iPhone? So Apple have decided to spend some kind of money to the digital advertising. And do you think that seeing the ad would make me want an iPhone? No. Why? Because every customer is at a different stage of the buying journey. Maybe I've already decided that no, this is the smartphone I'm going to buy, not the iPhone. So even I'm seeing the ad of iPhone, I have already decided. Or I am thinking, no, this is not in my requirement area. Like I want Android, I don't want Apple, I don't want iOS features, so I'm not considering it. So I am at a very different stage of the buying journey. So it is not always possible that seeing the ad would ultimately make me want to purchase the product. Okay. Let's look carefully this slide. The customer journey begins with being a stranger. Now, if I want a smartphone, I am a stranger to the market. I don't know what kind of good brands are there, what new products are being launched. So I am just a stranger, and I am going to dive into the market of smartphone. Okay. Let me consider as a very vague person, and I don't even know the brand. I don't even know the new company that has emerged up with the new specifications on the smartphones. So I am not very much aware of the new brand, new companies coming up. Okay. So something attracts attention. So when I'm scrolling it, when I'm searching it, I don't know about many of the company's name. I'm a very stranger, and then something attracts my attention. So maybe I was scrolling Instagram, maybe I was looking at YouTube shorts, maybe I was just browsing Google and blogs, reading blogs, and then a small ad attracts my attention. Like it's the ad of a smartphone. I don't know about the brand, I don't know anything about it, but yeah, I was planning to buy a smartphone by myself. So I saw an ad on any of the platform, And what I do, I would become interested. Okay, so this ad is shown in my feed and let me click it because I am considering to purchase this. Right? So what happens next? I start doing research. Like, okay, so this is the ad of a Apple phone. So let me consider it. Let me search about it. What people are saying about this particular phone. What are the features? What is the budget? And what are the duration you can use? And what are its competitors are? What are the alternatives of this phones are? So multiple things will start coming in my mind, and I will start doing my research. I'll start doing comparison. I will start reading reviews, right? I'll start watching videos and ask my friends and colleagues, and only after considering so many parameters, I would start building trust. So to make a purchase. This is one of the biggest misconceptions in marketing. Now, many businesses believe advertisement immediately generates sales, but in reality, advertisements generate not sale, it generate interest, and interest leads to research or trust. So, advertisement generate interest, and trust generates sales. Okay, and that is why businesses spend so much time in creating useful content, customer reviews to generate that kind of trust, so that people get impressed by it, and then that leads to sales of their product. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Awareness creates curiosity, trust creates purchase. Okay. Now let's move to the digital marketing funnel, which is going to be the highlight of our lecture. So after digital marketing channel, we are moving to digital marketing funnel, and it has several of the stages. If you have read marketing in your earlier years, so you must be knowing the Maslow's hierarchy, or you must be knowing about Butler's life cycle model. So let's consider Butler's life cycle model. It says that first you are unaware of your surrounding, and then you start getting introduced to, and then there is a development process, and then there is a consolidation process or stagnation process, and there is decline, and there is rejuvenation, right? So this funnel is also follow the same pattern. Slowly we are going to study about this whole pattern. So let us understand what this funnel is. So is digital marketing funnel is a visual representation of the customer's journey. Okay, so you see that it shows how customer go from one stage to another stage, and how they become very much aware of the brand. First they are stranger, now they know the name of the brand, but not purchases. Then they move more further, and interest generates among them. Then they start considering their multiple options. Then conversion take place. They make a purchase, and then the company start giving them some kind of offers and everything to make them return to get some more essentials for their smartphones, and then they will start become brand ambassadors of the brand. Okay. So these are the stages: awareness, interest, consideration, conversion, retention, and advocacy. Each stage has different customer behavior. Each stage requires different marketing strategies. For example, Instagram Reels work well during awareness. So to make your brand available or known, focus on Instagram Reels. Customer reviews work very well during consideration, because some reviews say that's good, some reviews say it's bad, etc. So this is like consideration. Reviews are very important. Email marketing works very well during retention, to make the customer recall your name, and referral programs work very well during advocacy. So a successful marketer understands exactly which strategy fits each stage. So let's take an example. If 10,000 people visits a website, do all 10,000 become customers? if somebody is searching about it and they're reaching my website like 10,000, and to all the 10,000 are making their purchase from my website. This is not possible. Why? Because customers leave the funnel at different stages. So these funnels carry the different stages. There are 6 stages basically, and some would getting aware of your website, they would scroll it and then go back. They don't return. Somebody would like your blogs and everything, they got interest and they start scrolling it more. They're considering it, so they are at the consideration stage, and then they would leave because they find some more good options. Some would very like your product, your website, they would purchase it. But once they purchase, they would be satisfied and they would not be posting anything further. So this is like they have stopped after conversion stage. So every customers leave the funnel at different stage, and our objective is to reduce that drop. Our objective is to make like out of 10,000 people who are visiting my website, even if 100 people are actually reaching to the last stage, I want them to retain, okay, because they are my repetitive customers. Now let us begin with our very first stage, that is awareness. Well, the first stage is awareness. At this point, customers do not or may not know even your business exists. Like if they don't know about even your business name, they have never heard of it, but they have saw some kind of ad or reel you are showing. Okay, so your responsibility is simply to introduce yourself, like who you are, what you are offering, how you are solving some problem, etc. And businesses use several channels. They build reels, they run YouTube ads, Google ads, they focus on SEO on Google search, and they focus on influencer marketing. They even try traditional methods like showing ads on TVs or banners, etc. So the objective is not the immediate phase. Objective is to get recognized, to get visibility among the customers who don't know that your business exists. Okay. Let's say take example like you have launching your own cafe, and nobody knows about that your cafe exists and offering such a very exotic menus and everything. So how you think that customers would actually come and visit your cafe? So what happens, that awareness always comes before purchase. So you start promoting your cafe to different digital marketing channels and focusing on local customers. Now let me ask you something. Suppose a Nike launches a new running shoe. Would they immediately ask everyone to purchase it? Like, yes, we are launching this product and now come and get it. Okay. But no, what they do, they start creating awareness. They would start releasing teaser videos using some celebrities, and they would start showing some glimpse of the product they are going to offer. Just create an interest, awareness. Okay. Kind of tease. So they start running social media campaigns, they start endorsing athletes and celebrities, and later only they start promoting offers like for limited time get the 100 shoes at this price. Okay, so this kind of awareness would make the product more valuable among the eyes of the customers. So if big brands are doing the same, creating awareness, generating interest, and then focusing on purchase, then small businesses have to also do the same with the same digital marketing strategies. Okay, so let's move to the next stage, which is interest stage. Now, after awareness stage, this is the stage where customers know that your brand exists. They enter the stage at the point when they are very much curious. Okay, so I'm seeing the ad of this company. I don't know much about it, but it generated my interest because they're offering something unique. They got my attention, etc. So they are curious, not ready to buy, but they are curious about your brand, about your company. So let's take an example. Like you want to buy a laptop and you have a budget of let's suppose INR 70,000. So what would you buy the first laptop you see? Like, okay, this is the laptop, there's so many features and I'm going to buy it.
Is this so? No, you will analyze your options, right? You will begin researching. You may search in Google or in any of the digital marketing platforms like best laptop under 70,000, HP versus Dell, best laptop for MBA students, etc. So different keywords you would start typing on Google and you will get the different result. And then you will start what you are doing. You are going to start reading. You're reading blogs, like what the blog says that this product is good, that product is good, this is for MBA students, this is for graduation students, etc. You start reading reviews of the customers as well. You start watching videos. You start buying guides also, like which laptop should be considered for your academic purposes or for technical purposes, etc. You would start listening to expert recommendations as well, and you should be noticing something very important. At this stage, you are looking for information. You got to know about some laptop company and you really like the product. You like the advertisement, got your attention, but you have not stopped there. You have started visualizing or you have started researching about your options. You are starting researching by writing different keywords and searching results, and then you are looking for information. So this phase is basically about satisfying the curiosity through research, okay, not advertisements. So this is why businesses invest heavily in content marketing. They build the content because they promote their products. Companies publish blogs, FAQs, buying guides, and comparison articles because they know customers are actively searching for answers, right? So if somebody are searching best DSLR camera for beginners or Canon, so what will happen? Like DSLRs making companies like Canon or Sony, they will start publishing a guide. They start uploading a YouTube video, or Nikon may create some comparison charts. Okay, so all these efforts are designed to educate customers of the specifications of DSLR camera if they are beginners and before they are going to sell their product. Okay. So when you purchase your last mobile phone, when you purchase your last laptop, did you watch YouTube reviews? So many of you will say yes, because there are many YouTubers that are providing genuine reviews about the customer, about the products. So those YouTube creators are influencing customers during the which stage? Interest stage. Okay. So you should be understanding that information reduces uncertainty. So there is an uncertainty among the students, like yes, which laptop is I'm going to buy, which would be more good for me, to the information stage, that is interest stage. Now interest stage is providing you different kind of information and reducing your uncertainty, improving your clarity. The more confident customer feels, the more likely they are continuing through the funnel. Then they will move to the next funnel until they get satisfied. After collecting information, customer move to the next stage. And in the next stage, they will start comparing their different options. Now, after reading reviews, guides, etc., they have built like, okay, so I now understand that these 5 companies I have to focus on. They are providing some very new and unique features. So now they are going to compare these products. Okay, so we are entering into consideration stage. In the slide, you can see the consideration stage is where customers ask, now which of the option is best for me? I have already read the blog and the guides and the reviews, tutorials, everything I have read and gone through it. I know what is important and what is required by me. So these are the different products that are providing that kind of features. Some have this, some have that. And now which options would be the final and best for me? So this is the comparison or consideration stage. This is one of the very competitive stages because businesses are directly competing for attention. Like, yes, I'm more of this feature. Yes, I am providing this new feature, etc. So suppose you're buying a smartphone, you start comparing companies' products like Apple, Samsung, OnePlus, Vivo, and you read reviews, right?
You start comparing the products on the basis of price, feature, specifications, camera quality, battery life, what are the customer ratings are, how the customers have given their reviews, what are the warranty of the battery and everything. You should be noticing that your behavior has changed. You're no longer searching for general information. You know what is important to look for in a smartphone, for a better price, for a better feature, for a RAM, for a battery, etc. So now the basic information is already loaded into you, and you're not searching for general information. You are evaluating your alternative options. Okay, and businesses generally know this. That is why they create comparison pages. They create customer testimonials, product demonstrations, case studies, and FAQs. They know that you are confused. They know that the products like theirs are already in the market and you are confused on to where to go. So they start publishing this kind of content to make you more and more attentive towards their product. So even websites like Amazon also help customers by displaying ratings, reviews, question and answers, photos, videos, bestseller badges. So these are all to attract your attention. These elements reduces risk, like they provide certain kind of a trust, certain kind of authenticity, like yes, we are providing this is this, so this product must be good. Suppose you have 50,000 to buy a smartphone. Now, what are the three factors that would influence your decision the most, depending on your requirement? So, you would say that price, like the phone must be under the range of 50,000. That is your budget. Camera, battery, brand, reviews. Explain that marketers really need to optimize this decision factors because they understand customer priorities. So these are the customer priorities. They are looking for certain specifications like price, camera, battery, brand, reviews. So the company should be focusing on creating content regarding these decision factors. So people rarely buy the best product. They buy the product they trust the most. We should always remember that. Once the customers have compared different options, they are finally ready to make a decision. So they are going to move from consideration stage to the next stage, that is the conversion stage. Okay, so in this stage, why we use the word conversion? Because the customer has now converted from a visitor into a buyer. Now the customer is very much certain that okay, I have analyzed my different options and I have reached to the play time where now I'm going to buy. So they have finally selected their laptop. This is the company, this is the model of the product, and I'm going to buy. Now what they do? They visit your website. What do businesses have to encourage you to complete the purchase? So you see, when customer actually visit the website of the product, they will see the landing page, how the page is designed, how it is so beautiful, and is offering some kind of discount as well, and there is some limited time offers are also going on. So when they add the product in their cart, they are getting instant discount of something, and they are getting to know the checkout pages, how it is and how easy it is to do the payment by getting UPI or QR code or anything else. Okay, so for example, like Amazon displays only 2 items left when you are going to actually buy the product. It is there is a warning message, there is only 2 items left, hurry, limited time offer, free delivery by tomorrow. These are the perks or the tips or tricks that makes you a little bit hurry on doing in your purchase. Okay, these messages encourage what? Faster decision and quick decision making. Similarly, when you are going to book a flight tickets, often you will see the message like only 3 seats left, the offer expires tonight, free cancellation, free refund, anything. So these are called conversion optimization techniques. यानी कि this means that through these techniques, brand or companies help you in deciding like not to give you any time to think otherwise or go for other options. They would keep pushing you until you click on the pay button. Okay. So have you purchased something because an offer was ending? And I know that many of you would say yes, because you must have purchased because you think that offer is ending, my chance would not come again, I'm going to purchase it because I will not get the product at the same price. So you have purchased the product. But remember, this is one of the tactics of conversion optimization. Okay? Traffic has no value until it converts into business result. So no matter if 10,000 or 20,000 people are visiting my website, until they are purchasing my product, I have no value. So many businesses think that customer journey end there, like they have purchased, finally made the purchase, and this is end. We have sold our product and we have achieved it. But actually, the journey has only reached its halfway, right? Because you don't want to lose these customers because they have trusted you once, and you want them to come back to get some more products from you. Okay, so this makes you to enter into a different stage. That is the next stage. There's a retention stage. Now the customers have already purchased the product. They have their product with them, and they're using it. And now what is happening, like if I'm buying a smartphone from a company and I bought the product and I'm going to use it, and then an email comes in my in my inbox, and it says that congratulations, you have bought the product, and along with, if after 2 months post a video of how you like the product or not, and if you like the product, then we are offering you a mobile cover free by if you are going to give us a 4-star or 5-star review. So something like that that came in my email feed, and I'm using the smartphone. So after 2 months, I really like the product. I'm using it. So I wrote a good review, and then I got a free mobile cover from the company. So this is the retention, right? I got something free, and the company got a good review from it. And then what happens that again an email arrived like congratulations for the free mobile cover, and we have lots of mobile essentials or mobile accessories with us. You can scroll it and it will go very good with your mobile case. So what they're doing, they're pushing other of their products also to me, and if I like it, I would purchase it. So this is the retention stage. So, let's ask yourself, after the purchase, should the business stop communicating? No. Acquiring a new customer is usually much more expensive than retaining an existing one. Acquiring means you need all the data of your customer. Retaining means you already have the data of your customers, you just have to keep chasing them. This is why companies invest heavily in customer retention. Look at the examples. Like businesses use email marketing, they use rewards, they use app notifications, memberships, loyalty programs. Now let's think about Amazon Prime. Why do millions of people renew their membership every year? Like every year there is Amazon Prime and they are renewing their membership because Amazon continues providing values. Okay, like let's take example of Zomato or Swiggy. So customers keep on ordering through Swiggy or Zomato, etc. Like I've ordered a food from Zomato app, and whenever I'm getting hungry, I'm opening Zomato app, scrolling all the foods and everything whichever I want. People keep on ordering from the same mobile app. Why does it make me a retaining a customer? Because they are providing certain kind of value. So I feel valued when I'm using this app, so I'm using it again. So it can be through providing free delivery, exclusive discounts, membership discounts, priority service, anything that they're offering, giving me a value, customer as a value. So this benefits increases repeat purchases. Can you tell me which kind of loyalty programs you currently use? Like, do you use Netflix? Do you use Amazon Prime? Do you use Swiggy? Do you use Zomato? Do you use Blinkit? Do you use Japto? So there are many apps that you are frequently using to buy something, even if it's for 10 rupees or 100 rupees, etc. So if you are using that, then they are certainly making some kind of value in your life so that you keep returning to the same app. Okay, so that is the retention stage in action. The easiest customer to sell to is someone who already trusts your brand. So retaining a customer is also very important because the customer already know about your brand. They already are using your product. They have already purchased from your website or from your company. So they know about your existence. They know that you matter, and retaining them is much more simple. Okay? And now we are going to the final stage, that is advocacy stage. Now, well, this is the final stage of the digital marketing funnel. In this stage, customer is no longer simply buying; they have already purchased in conversion stage. So, in this stage, what is happening? The customer is becoming the brand ambassador. They are promoting the brand. Okay, so after purchasing it, they keep returning on the platform, buying other products also, and then they have started vocalizing to others as well. Like, see, I'm buying this product from this company, and it has been very good with them, and you should be purchasing the product as well. So they start promoting the brand. They become the advocate of the brand. Okay, so think about what happens after an excellent restaurant experience. When you go to eat something in a restaurant, you really like the food, you really like how they made it, and you really like the ambience. And then what you do immediately, you start taking pictures of the food, posting on Instagram, tagging the restaurant, and then you start leaving a Google review, right? You will recommend it to friends. You will talk to your friends and you will say, yeah, we have gone to this restaurant. It was so nice and so elegant, and the food was phenomenal. So you will start recommending it to friends, and then friends got to know to like, yeah, so my friend has gone, so I will also go and try the food because it was mentioned very delicious, and they will see the photos as well. You will tag the restaurant, of course, and without realizing it, you have become unofficial marketers of the restaurant. Businesses love this stage because recommendations from real customers are often very powerful than investing lots of money in advertisement, paid advertisement, because they are genuine. They bring genuine customers. Okay. Research consistently shows that people trust recommendations from friends, family more than traditional advertising. So if a restaurant is heavily investing in advertisement, but the people who have gone there tasted the food and did not like it, and they posted one review, and it would seriously hamper the position of the restaurant because they are investing so much, but the reviews are not good, so people would not trust the restaurant. Okay, so that is why companies encourage customers to rate their products, write reviews, refer friends, and share experiences online, because real thing would make them stand out better. Now, have you ever recommended a restaurant, mobile phone, movie, or app to someone? Have you? You must have, because whatever is happening in our life, whenever we are trying something new, purchasing something new, we are going to describe it very frequently with our whoever is close with us, like with our friends, relatives, or anyone else. Right? So we all have. So you have already participated in the advocacy stage at some point on different products. So the best advertisement is a satisfied customer. Always remember that. Now that we understand every stages of the digital marketing funnel, let's see one of the world's biggest brand how they are using this digital marketing funnel, and the company is Nike. Now most people think that Nike simply sells athletic shoes, but they actually sells what? Motivation, lifestyle, fitness, community. So if you're thinking that if going to buy a shoes that is of Nike, so I am already influenced and motivated by the athletes who are recommending Nike. Okay, so I'm already crossed all the interest and aware at every stages to reach at the conclusion that I want a Nike shoe. So let's follow the journey of a customer. His name is Rahul, and he wants to start running. So he's scrolling his Instagram and saw very motivational reels, and that is of Nike, and they have featured some kind of athlete. He is preparing for a marathon, and at this point, Rahul was not planning to buy shoes. He was just scrolling about it and thinking about getting in shape by running. So Nike has simply created kind of awareness kind of reel where athlete was preparing for a marathon, right? Later that evening, Rahul searches on Google best running shoes for beginners. So somewhere in his mind, a seed has been planted by a Instagram reel of a Nike. Now at the end of the day, Rahul started searching about it. Best running shoes for beginners. And now when he searched on the Google, Nike is investing on advertisements. So by investing heavily, whenever somebody is searching best running shoes for beginners, for experts or whatever, so the keywords they are putting their money onto, very top of the result of the first page in Google, there would be a Nike website because they are investing heavily on ads as well. So he saw the Nike again, and then he thought, okay, let's check it out. And he clicks on the Nike's website, and he visits the Nike website. He started seeing different kind of models of running shoes. Now he opened his YouTube and he searched again Nike shoes, different models, etc. And many YouTubers are telling what are the pros and cons of buying Nike shoes and everything. He started seeing this reviews. Now he started reading customer ratings as well, what customers are actually saying on different social media channels. Now what happens? Rahul have entered finally into a consideration stage. Now he's comparing it. He saw like along with Nike there are multiple options like with Adidas, Puma, everything else. So he decides ki okay, I am convinced that let's buy Nike. It is a very brand recognized, it is athletic recognized and very much in demand. So I am going with Nike. Okay, this is the conversion stage. But Nike's work does not stop here. Even if they have able to make Rahul make the first purchase as a customer, what happens? They start sending emails to in the Rahul's inbox about the new collections or new products that is being launched. So what Rahul does, he downloads the Nike Run Club app. Now this app, what it do, it tracks his running record. It starts motivating him by giving him some kind of challenges, and then connects him with other runners as well who are using the same app. So it becomes that Rahul has become one of the member of the Nike community in his area, right? Eventually he start posting pictures wearing Nike shoes, like running, and then tagging Nike as well, recommending them to their friends as well, because now he has become a part of something bigger, a community. Now he feels that he is a part of something very important, right? So he has now reached the advocacy stage. So when we see the funnel of how the journey of Rahul has gone, from Instagram to website to reviews to purchase to Nike Run Club app, and then becoming a part of the community and then repeat the purchase, every stage has served its purpose. Nike does not sell products, it starts building long-term customer relationships. Now, which digital marketing channels did Nike use? Can you tell me? So it is Instagram, it's Google, it's YouTube, it's Amazon, wherever they buy it, mobile application, email, community. So you have to notice that Nike is not depending only one marketing channel. It is diversifying itself. So for different stages, they are diversifying itself. So the strongest brands did not simply sell products; they built what? Ecosystems, a whole environment for their customers, so that they keep looping up and keep advocating their products to their known followers as well. If the digital marketing funnel really explains customer behavior today, so what do you think the marketing will look tomorrow? Like we as a customer would feel more and more part of the company itself, not as only a customer. When we see about current trends, what is going on in today's world right now, how this digital marketing is shifting from one thing to another, and different channels, different funnels, different platforms are keep on emerging, and we have to keep up. We have to keep evolving ourselves. We have to keep re-educating ourselves to keep up with the changes and current trends, right? Okay. So, marketing changes continuously, we all know that. And this technique would have worked 5 years ago. But no, as a future managers, our responsibility is to keep on learning. Learning never ends because technology is changing rapidly. Our customer expectations is also changing even faster. Our retention phase is so fickle. Like if I'm not getting very much value in something, my focus will shift immediately, right? So today we'll discuss some of the trends that are already transforming businesses. These are, first is AI, this is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is entering in every major fields, including digital marketing. Then there is a voice search. This voice search recognition feature. There is hyper personalization, quick commerce. Businesses that adopt these kind of different emerging technologies early often gain a kind of competitive advantage, and customers seems to think that they are more advanced or more inclined towards them. Okay, so marketing has become no longer driven only by creativity. It is increasingly driven by how convenient you make for your customer through technology and data. So let us begin with the biggest transformation this technology has brought and keep on evolving. This is AI, which is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has become one of the most influential technologies in marketing. So many of you are using ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Copilot, but do you think AI is just for chatting or discussing problems? No, they are more than chatbots. These are the times where businesses are using AI in multiple of their business processes, either in transaction, either decision making process, either in forecasting, analytics, etc. So they are using them for generating advertisements also. They are using them to generate algorithm for how the advertisement would be looking at different stages of digital marketing, right? They are creating product descriptions, recommending products. They are even predicting customers' behavior, how customer would see react after seeing this and this content. They are answering the customer stories as well. So let's take example that Netflix recommends movies using AI. So whatever your feed is showing in your Netflix, this is being shown through the algorithm controlled by AI bots. So Amazon also recommend products based on your browsing history. Now Spotify also creates personalized playlists, but they are being all regulated with AI bots. Even Google Ads are also using smart ads or performance max ads using AI to automatically optimize campaigns suitable to the time. AI helps marketers work very faster, make better decision, quick decision, forecast result, and deliver very for their customers. But always remember, AI is just a tool. You direct them. Human creativity remains essential. Like it's human who is actually directing AI to do something, right? So it's always a tool. Do you think AI can replace marketers completely? And why or why not? So you should be discussing the will AI would replace you. Yes, it is right that AI can automate repetitive tasks. Much of the repetitive tasks, AI would automatically automate it, and then you don't have to worry. But marketers still provide direction and creativity, like which direction AI tools should be implemented. AI will not replace marketers. That is a fact. But the marketers who use AI effectively will replace those who don't. So you have to keep up with the market trends. You have to keep up with the evolving tools to become the very smart marketers. Okay. Artificial intelligence has also changed how customers search. So, depending on different kind of AI recommendations, customers' feed has completely changed, and this has made a significant changes in how digital marketers have been promoting different campaigns. Okay, next slide is voice search. So you must have seen like today in the smart TVs also in the remote when you click the mic button and you say that channel number 44 and automatically there is TV would switch to the channel number 44. Or in Google when you click on the mic button and you say best hey Google best cafe near me, and then you will get all the result regarding the cafe near you within a certain kind of kilometer range. So that is voice search. Now this voice search feature has been getting implemented in many of the apps, many of the websites, many of the businesses to make the communication more and more easier and efficient. Like people even don't have to type, they don't have to engage their hands, they can simply click on the button and say whatever they want, and according to that the outcome will come. Okay. Now there is the next slide. It is about hyper personalization. Now what is this hyper personalization? Just think about your Netflix account. Now compare it with your friend's Netflix account. Are the recommendations same? No. You compare your Spotify playlist as well. Today, what is the playlist that is being recommended to you? And it is completely different to the playlist recommended to your friend. Okay, so they are not same. Again, Amazon's recommendations are also different. The products showing to you is completely different to the product showing to your friend at the same blog you are reading, because every customer has unique interest. You must have browsed something that your friend has not. Your friend must have browsed something that you have not. So this is known as hyper personalization. Businesses analyze their search history, purchase history, this they completely track the browsing behavior of the customers. They track the locations, preferences, and then finally they create a personalized, customized experiences of their customers. So instead of sending the same advertisement to everyone, they create advertisements specifically for each of the customer. So this creates or this increases customer satisfaction. Like the customer feel that they have been valued, like their interests are being valued. So this kind of ad is showing only to them, not to their friends. Okay, and this improves marketing performance. So the future of marketing is not mass marketing; it is personalized marketing. Next slide is quick commerce. We all know what is quick commerce. So earlier was the days where you go to the shop, you stand in the queue, you wait for your turn, and then you would order whatever you want to for your grocery, and then you purchase it, you come back, it takes all of like it takes hour to purchase something. So you have to go and stand the line, etc. Now companies like Blinkit, Jepto, Instamart has completely changed the whole business environment. They have changed the customer expectations. The product have not changed, the products are the same, requirements are the same, but the delivery speed has changed. Quick commerce demonstrates a very important lesson. Sometimes competitive advantage comes from speed, not price. Even if the price at the shop you will get 5 rupees lesser, but if you can order from here five by giving only 5 rupees more, and the product is at your doorstep within 10 minutes, and then you have to invest 1 hour, go to the shop, buy the product, and save 5 rupees. So what options, if you want to save time, what options do you have? You would order from the quick commerce, right? So the same thing, what would you do? Would you go to the grocery shop, spend 5 rupees less, but take almost 1 hour of your time, or you will order it here in your home within 10 minutes, and you just have to pay like 2 rupees or 5 rupees more. So what you will do? Most of you would choose the less the time take, the more efficient it is. Okay, so always remember, data has become the new oil, because data is the one thing that is making customers feel more and more valued, and when they feel more and more valued, the trust factor emerges, and this creates more and more purchases, right? So the key takeaways from this session is every business should know where customer drop off, like which stage the customers don't find themselves to be taken care of and they would switch off. So they would start improving that stage of their businesses. So that's it for today. And this is the end of the first module of our fundamentals of digital marketing. Thank you. Take care.